how to get keyword unstuck on page 2 on page 3 of Google. Do you want to get from page 2 or page 3 of Google to page 1 of Google? In this video, I'll show you how. Hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com. Welcome to another video on SEO. First of all, we're brought to this channel. Make sure to press the subscribe button below so when I release a new SEO video like this, you get notified. Have you ever had these situations with your website or any of your keywords where you have tried everything you could to get from, let's say, anywhere to page 2 of Google or page 3, but for some whatever reasons you couldn't get it to page 1 of Google? Well, in this video I'll go through with you the 3 main things based on my almost 7 years experience of doing SEO for my clients as well as my website, that I have experience of how to get websites or keywords ranking from page 2 or page 3 of Google to page 1 of Google. And those 3 things comes down to these 3 points. So the first one, before we get into these 3 points, let me kind of explain to you why it is so difficult to really get your keywords moving from page 2 or page 3 to page 1 of Google. Now let's imagine like this. Let's say you have a brand new website, a brand new page or your keywords, and you're starting from nowhere. Then you start doing some little bit of optimization, do some on page and all that. You start, let's say, from nowhere, and then it starts popping up at, let's say, page 8 or page 9, position 80 or 90. And then for, let's say, a few weeks afterwards, it quickly jumped from page 8 or page 9 to page 6 or page 5. And then from page 6 or page 5, quickly jump to page 4, then page 3, and then maybe to page 2. But then after that, it kind of seems like it's not moving anymore. The thing here is, moving from, like, the farther you are from the first page of Google, the easier and the quicker it is for you to move. This is what we call as ranking inertia. Means it's much easier for you to move from, let's say, the back to the front than, let's say, towards the first page of Google. So when you reach page 2 or page 3, it is much more difficult to move to page 1. You can kind of think of it like climbing up a mountain. When you start climbing up the mountain, it's much easier at the bottom, but as you start approaching the summit at the top, everything seems much more difficult. You need more energy, you need more time, etc., etc. Ranking on Google is the same way, more or less. The closer you are to page 1 of Google, and even if, let's say, you have reached page 1 of Google, the higher up you want to move on, let's say from position 10 to position 9 or position 9 to position 8, you will need a lot more effort and time and energy and pretty much everything to really push it up. So that's why it is much more difficult, and it takes much more time to move towards the top of page 1 of Google, or even, let's say, you're on page 2 or page 3. So let's dive into these 3 things of how you can actually do and get your keywords up to page 1 of Google, even number 1. First thing is, you have to do the audit on your website, or specifically on your target page. So the first thing first is you have to make sure that everything is as perfect as possible. Now in SEO, just remember that there is nothing as such of perfect. You can never do perfect SEO. Means that no one truly knows how Google actually works, so no one can really get or achieve perfect SEO. But your goal is try to do as much as you can, and also pretty much cover everything as much as you can. Now I have an audit template, audit checklist here. I'll leave the link in the comment in a description of this video. You can go ahead and make a copy of this. I have a video tutorial on my channel before of how to use this audit checklist, but as you can see here, this audit checklist is very comprehensive. It has over 100 points based on my experience, and sometimes I even update this checklist, so based on my discovery and my SEO tests and all that. Now this audit checklist covers pretty much everything, starting from the basics of SEO, then you have the technical, then you have on page. Now with on page, it is also divided into keyword elements and quality elements, because remember, it's not just about keywords anymore. It's not just about the topic. It's also about the quality elements, different quality aspects, such as, are there too many interstitial ads, do you have about page, privacy policy page, contact page, and all that. Do you have a clear author bio, etc., etc. So There are different areas that you can look at here, even backlinks, off page, and then if you do local SEO, there's also a specific section for local SEO and Google Business Profile. I haven't updated the name yet, but it's the same thing. Then even if you do e-commerce, there's even a separate section on it. So it's a very comprehensive checklist. I'll leave a link in the description of how to use this checklist, but it's very easy. All you have to do is just select based on this pass or fail here. So if, let's say, is Google Analytics set up on your website? If yes, you can click pass. If not, you can click fail. In the same way, any SEO plugins installed, if you use WordPress, you can select yes, pass, or fail. And there's also different description here on the side that you can read. Like if, let's say, if your answer is yes, it means pass. If your answer is no, it means fail. So it also has the description about the reasons, and also like a little bit of explanation or the tools you can use to do further testing and stuff like that. So it's a very comprehensive checklist. You can go ahead and grab it for free. The first part is to make sure that you cover everything as much as you can, to make sure that everything is as near perfect as possible. Because like I said, the closer you are to top of Google, the more energy, the more effort, pretty much everything you need to, it needs a lot of things, it needs everything you need to really get you, to actually make it work. Now, second thing is backlinks and user signals. Now, yes, on page is important, technical is important, but based on my experience, the closer you are to the top of Google, the more you need in terms of backlinks and user signals. Yes, like I said, on page and technicals are still important, but as far as the driver, the main signals are concerned, backlinks and user signals are going to be what actually drive you the most in terms of the effort. So besides having good on-page and good technical SEO, you need to also have good backlinks and, most importantly, good user signal as well. Now, what I mean by this, so first, backlinks here. So let's say this is your target page, the page you want to move to page 1 of Google. First, obviously, you have to make sure that you have some links built to this page already. If not, then start building some links right away, right? Because like I said, backlinks are very important if you want to move up to closer to page 1 of Google. But if you already have a lot of backlinks, then it's probably the third point here, which I'm going to talk about after this. But besides just building more backlinks, you have to also check the quality of backlinks as well. It's not just about the quantity, but the quality here. Obviously, the backlink needs to be relevant. It needs to come from trustworthy websites, etc., etc. I do have some videos on my channel about how to choose good backlinks, so you can go and check them out. But generally, you have to make sure that you have some good quality links built to that page already. Secondly is the user signals. Now, the thing here is your specific target page might not rank on the first page of Google right away for the main keyword, but it could already start ranking for other relevant keywords, right? So let's say you want to rank for CCTV installation service, right? So let's say your target keyword is CCTV installation service, right? So let's say you want to rank for this, or let's make it more simpler. Let's say you want to rank for roofing Los Angeles, right? My favorite example here, by the way, for those of you who have watched my channel for a long time. So let's say you want to rank for the main keyword roofing Los Angeles. You're not on the first page yet for this keyword, but you might already be ranking for, let's say, roofer Los Angeles or roofing company Los Angeles, something like that. So you already start ranking for the long tail, or for the supporting keywords, whatever you want to call it, on the first page of Google already. So if you already start driving traffic and clicks to that page already, you have to make sure that your page satisfies the users. You have to make sure that your page loads fast. You have to make sure that your page actually converts, right? When we talk about user signals here, it means positive user signals. It means that users are satisfied with your results. So you have to make sure that you have a proper conversion rate optimization in place. You have to make sure that users, most of them actually fill up the forms, and they click to your page, they browse your page, and they leave your page without clicking on other competitors. You have to make sure that your page is the best roofing in Los Angeles out there, so it maximizes your conversions, right? So essentially, when we talk about user signal, it means happy users. Happy users mean users who convert, right? Users who become your customers. I'm not going to dive into too much detail about this, but yes, Google does track this. Google uses a lot of data points. One of the main signals is from Google Chrome, right? It knows what users are doing based on how people interact on the page, etc., etc. So you have to optimize your page for conversion. So how do you do that? Obviously, you have to test different types, different layouts, and all that. But you can use different software as well. There's this software called heat map software. So it is essentially like a program where you can install on your page, on your website, and it basically tracks what users are doing on your website, where they click their mouse on. You can even sometimes record videos and do a playback and see how users actually use your website, use your page. Now there are a lot of these software out there. For example, Hotjar, Crazy Eggs, a lot of different companies. But I can recommend you one called Microsoft Clarity. You can search about it. It's a free heat map software slash video recording, session recording tools. It works pretty much like these paid tools, but it's free. So you can give it a try and see how it goes. Generally, you want to see how users interact with your website and adjust your website accordingly to make sure that all the signals or the traffic you're getting or the user are getting actually converts and become a happy users, right? So even if you're not ranking for anything on the first page yet, you should still be actually doing some types of marketing, driving traffic to your website, making sure that your website, your landing page, your specific page converts, right? Because like I said, backlinks are important, but user signals are important too. You need to get users to your website if you want to get to page 1 of Google, or even number 1, for example. And thirdly is page saturation. Now what do we mean by page saturations here? So this is in the case of those who have done everything they could to the page and still couldn't get the page to move up. So I'm talking about those who, let's say, made their on page on point already, their technical on point, and they even have built a lot of links, a lot of quality links to that page already. But for whatever reason, that page still stuck on page 2 of Google, or even they have some user signals going on into that page as well, for example. Now, if let's say whatever you have done to that page and it still doesn't move, then you might be facing this page saturation problem. Now, what I mean by this here is, based on my experience, I've seen that each and every page there seems to be a certain limit you can do SEO to that page before it stops moving. Which means that, let's say you have done everything you could to that page and suddenly that page stops moving. Then what do you do after that? What you do after that here is you start working on other supporting pages or other top pages in your clusters. So let's say this is your website. Obviously on a website you have a bunch of pages on your website, right? And then let's say this is your target page. You want to get this page from page 2 to page 1. But this page is stuck. You have built lots of links to it already. You get some user signals on page. Everything is on point, but still is stuck on page 2 of Google. What you have to be doing next is you have to be actually working on other supporting pages as well. Other supporting pages on your website would naturally link to this page through internal linking, or even if they don't link, it's still fine because they're all on the same domain. Because here's the thing. Google ranks pages, but Google also looks at the domain. So if your overall domain is not as good compared to your competitors, your specific page might not be valued enough to get to page 1 of Google, right? So that's why it's not just about working on specific page, but it's about working on your entire domain. You have to remember that other pages are also important on your website, especially if they are relevant to this page here. So stop always working on the one page if let's say it's stuck based on, let's say, everything you have done, but also start working on other pages in the same cluster, in the same topic. Because when Google sees that yes, you have other pages that are also doing well in terms of SEO, it will also start rewarding this page as well. Again, this is based on my experience, and all this is based on my experience working on hundreds of websites and also my own website, my client's website. So that's all for it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Just to summarize with you, first, make sure that everything is full and on point. Do the audit on your website or your specific page. Secondly, invest into backlinks and user signals. Make sure you build quality backlinks. Make sure you get some user signals into your specific page, to your website. And lastly, if you have done everything you could but still stuck, make sure to work on other pages on your website as well. That's all for it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.